Saxon Math 7-6, Lesson 97. Welcome, Joel and JoJo. I hope you're having a lovely spring day. It is sunny today as I record this, which you can tell because look, there's shadows of my rose bush on the paper. And I know that creates a less surface for you, and I would move down the table so that I was in all shade, but here's the problem. Gracie's taking a nap and she's got her head on my foot. And if I were to move, not only would I have to take my foot out from underneath her head, which would disturb her and wake her up, because that's why she sleeps with her head on my foot, is so that she knows if I move, but I would also have to rearrange the chairs, and she would have to move and sleep in a different place. And to be honest with you, I just don't feel like upsetting her that much because it's so nice when she settles down. So you and I are going to suffer along. Oh, now it got cloudier, so now the shadows aren't so bright. So we're just going to suffer through the rose bush shadows on my paper and, suck one up because I know. Okay, lesson 97. We are going to start talking about circles. Okay, that's geometry. Whenever we talk about shapes, that means it's geometry. John does not separate his geometry from his algebra. Everything kind of goes along together. You'll see why as we go on, why that makes sense. A lot of students study geometry separately from algebra. In John's world, and therefore my world, we put them together. So, just so you know. What we're doing in this lesson is purely words. We're introducing 3 new words, and that means that the problems are going to be problems where you write out words. And I know that's so annoying. I always feel bad when we have a lesson that requires you to write words as the answer, because I know that's so much more annoying than numbers, but what can I say? Okay, here's a circle. It has a center. I'm assuming that you know what a center is. And we can draw a line that goes from one side of the circle to the center and then straight through to the other side. Pretend that's perfectly straight. There's not just one way to draw that. Like we could draw it from this side going through, or we could draw it like this going through, or we can even put it here, right? There's a lot of lines we could squeeze in that go through the center. It goes from edge to center to edge in a perfectly straight line. That is called the diameter. Okay, all of those are called the edge to center to edge in a straight line. Okay, cool. That's the word diameter. Now, let's draw our... This time, instead of going all the way through from edge to center to edge, we're just going to go from the center to the edge. That's it. But we can do it in lots of different places, right? And it'll all be the same length because the center is the same distance from the circle all the way around. Okay? So this is just center to edge, and we call that the radius. And that is just, I always think of it from the center to the edge. You could think of it the other way around, right? If you're drawing from the edge to the center. It's a straight line. But it's shorter, right? So you can think of it as half the diameter, right? Because if you took any one of these diameters and covered up half of it, that would be a radius. And if you took the radius and extended it all the way through, then you would get a diameter. So we could say that the diameter is twice or 2 times the radius. Okay, so there's a relationship between diameter and radius. Radius is half the diameter, diameter is twice the radius, however you want to think of it, right? Okay, and then the last idea with a circle, pretend it's perfect, is the edge of the circle. We don't call it the perimeter, but it's like the perimeter of a straight-sided object. We call it the circumference. And it is the distance around the outside edge of the circle. And it's the same idea as perimeter. We just use a different word because it's a circle. Okay? Oh, I also wanted to tell you this. The plural is radii. Isn't that a weird word? So the circumference is the outside edge. Yeah? I'll just use this to kind of it's that. Goes all the way around. All right? So those are the ideas. Here's an example. What's the name for the perimeter of a circle? Oh, I said right here, circumference. Example 2, if, it's 97.2, if the radius is 4 centimeters, what is the length of the diameter? Oh, well, we explained that. The radius is half the diameter, or another way of saying that is the diameter is twice the radius. So if the radius is 4, then the diameter must be 8 centimeters. Cool? That's not much of a calculation, but yeah. The distance across a circle is the diameter, right? It's edge to center to edge. The distance around a circle is the circumference. The distance from the center to the circle is the radius. If the diameter is 10, the diameter is 10, what is the radius? Oh, okay, the radius is half the diameter. If the diameter is 10, the radius is 5. Make sense? I just did all the practice problems for you. You're welcome.